After my last video comparing smart scopes to budget rigs, many of you told me I completely missed the point. And you know what? You were right. And I'm making the case for smart telescopes because there are five types of people who should absolutely buy one. And if you're one of them, a traditional rig would be the wrong choice. Let's find out which one you are. Buyer type number one, the apartment dweller. If you live in a small space, here's the brutal truth about traditional astrophotography gear. This is what approximately $500 of budget gear looks like when you're not using it. A mount that weighs 15 pounds, a tripod that's 4 feet tall, a telescope tube, a power supply, and cables everywhere. Good luck explaining this to your roommate or to your wife. Now, here's a smart telescope, one piece, fits in a backpack, weighs 6 pounds, stores on a bookshelf. Setup time from storage to imaging, about 90 seconds. No tools, no assembly, no, honey, can you help me carry this downstairs, please? If you don't have a garage, a car, or a patient partner, this isn't even a debate. Smart scope wins every time. Buyer type number two, the traveling imager. Maybe you travel for work. Maybe you chase dark skies on vacation. Either way, you need gear that fits in a carry-on. I'm a bit of a traveling imager as well, so this one also applies to me. Here's the problem with traditional gear. This mount alone exceeds most airline weight limits. The tripod has to be checked. The telescope tube, forget about it. You're looking at checked baggage fees, fragile equipment warnings, and praying that they don't flag the counterweights as weapons. A smart telescope, carry on every time. I've flown with this, many people have flown with it, and they've had no problems even when going to different countries. Never checked the bag. And here's the part that traditional rig owners, including me, don't want to admit. You can image from a hotel balcony while normally you'd still be trying to polar align, desperately trying to get started. If your astrophotography needs to fit your lifestyle instead of the other way round, Smart Scope makes sense and it wins hands down. Buyer type number three, the light pollution warrior. You live in a city? You can't drive 2 hours to dark skies every weekend, and you're tired of people telling you, just move to the countryside. Here's what nobody tells beginners. Light pollution doesn't just make imaging harder, it makes learning harder. With a traditional rig, you're fighting gradients, dealing with noise, spending hours in post-processing just to salvage a mediocre image. But smart telescopes are built for this. Real-time stacking, automatic light pollution filtering, noise reduction that happens while you're imaging, not 3 hours later in PixInsight or whatever your processing software is. This is 30 minutes of imaging from downtown. Bortle 8. No filters, no post-processing, just the app doing its job. If you're stuck in the city and you want results instead of excuses, again, the Smart Scope wins. It's a no-brainer. We're halfway through and the Smart Scope is absolutely killing it. But here's my question. Which buyer type are you? Drop a number in the comments right now. 1 for apartment dweller, 2 for traveling imager, 3 for light pollution warrior. I want to see which type watches this channel the most. Also, by giving me this information, maybe I can tailor my future videos a bit closer to what you need. So do vote. Let's talk about the 2 types that really need to hear this message. We move on to buyer type 4, the I just want pretty pictures user. Not everyone wants to spend 3 years learning how to process their images. Not everyone cares about signal to noise ratios or gradient removal or all the other many technical issues that we encounter while doing astroimagery. Some people just want to point at the Andromeda galaxy and get a wallpaper-worthy image, and that's okay. Here's the traditional workflow, one that I know ever so well. Capture your data, download it, sort through it, reject the bad ones, calibrate with darks, flats, and bias frames, stack in your program of choice, import into your processing software, stretch it, remove gradients, look at the color balance, reduce noise, reduce the stars, save, and then upload. Hours just for one image. Now the smart telescope workflow. Tap the target, wait 30 minutes, tap save. Share to Instagram. Perhaps that's a bit of an oversimplification, but nonetheless, it's basically the case. Now, here's the controversial part. For most people sharing on social media, you cannot tell the difference. The smart scope image gets just as many likes. If you're a consumer, not a creator, if you want the result, not the process, smart scope wins. And there's zero shame in that. And finally, buyer type number 5, the gift buyer. You want to introduce someone to astrophotography. Maybe it's your kid, maybe it's your partner, maybe it's yourself, and you're not sure if this hobby will stick. Imagine giving someone this for their birthday. Here's your present. Now spend 6 hours watching YouTube tutorials on polar alignment, then another 3 hours learning post-processing software, and maybe in 2 weeks you'll get your first blurry image of the moon. Or imagine giving them this out of the box. App download, tap Orion Nebula, watch their face light up when they see their first deep sky image in 10 minutes. This is really the gateway drug to the hobby. Get them hooked with instant results. Then if you want to upgrade to a traditional rig later, you'll have the motivation to learn. For someone who's never imaged before, the smart scope wins. Because the best telescope is the one that actually gets used. So here's the truth I should have said in my last video. There are 2 types of astrophotographers, creators and consumers. Creators want control. They want to upgrade. They want to learn the technical side. They're willing to sacrifice convenience for capability. If that's you, buy the budget rig, build your skills, grow with your gear. But even so, even for these people, and that would include me, even I'm considering buying a smart scope for myself now to run alongside my rig, which is not a budget rig obviously anymore. Consumers want results. They want convenience. They want to enjoy the hobby without becoming a technician. If that's you, buy the smart scope. There's zero shame in that. The smart scope is really injecting joy into astrophotography and taking the hassle out. My last video was for creators. This video is for consumers. And the only wrong choice is buying gear that doesn't match your goals. It's not really for me to tell you which one you should buy. It's for you to decide. So ask yourself, do you want to build images or do you want to capture images? Because that's the real question. And if you're still not sure, here's my advice. Start with the smart scope. Use it for 6 months. If you find yourself wanting more control, more flexibility, more upgrade potential, then invest in a traditional rig. But if you're happy with the results, you just save yourself thousands of dollars and hundreds of hours.